Welcome back to Tactical Chilli. How are you today, Charlie?
I'm great. How are you?
Very good, my friend. Very good. I hear that you are playing with dices again. Sounds
No.
good. No? Okay. He's not playing with dices. That sounds good. Um, it's good to be back. It's good to record again. Um, we have a lot of things to cover. And it's very good to circle back to our WTC episodes with
Yep. This is the
um,
promised episode on WTC, the team's event. Wellington team
correct.
champ. No, not Wellington. The
No.
actual WTC.
we will talk about Wellington Championship and we will talk about the Chile games that happened on the weekend. Not in this video. We will do a specific video for that one and all the events coming because there is a couple of events coming, so will be really cool to talk about them. I have
Cool.
new stuff, Charlie. Look at this. So for everybody, if you have not subscribed, subscribe to the channel, our Facebook. Um, give us the support. We also love people comments. It's really cool. Have you had people that has approached you to say that is watching the videos?
Yes. You know I
Yeah,
have, because I told you about it.
yeah. You have one that is good.
Yeah. Yeah. So
We we are
when we were in Belgium, someone from the Northern Ireland team came up and said, "Hey, are you from Tactical Chile?" And I went, "What?" Random, but shout out to the mad lad that listened
yeah,
to a small New Zealand podcast. He said
yeah.
loves our trash talking, so we'll keep at it.
That's what we are here to trash talking. But we are not going to trash talking by ourselves today. Nah, we
No, we've
have
got
we
a
have
couple of lovely guests.
yes, we have our friend Chris from Odyssey 40K. He was one of the coaches with you on this the last WTC. He also played some of the War Masters.
Yep.
And we have the myth, the legend,
So
Jhonny Larson. Huh?
that's right. We managed to get the number 5 War Master
Right.
player, Jhonny Larson.
Jhonny Larson.
Not Jonty Larson that Chris interviewed, but the
Yes,
actual player. So
the actual
shall we
player.
invite them in?
Yes, this was to people. This was very difficult. It's an exclusive, and I don't think that is going to be repeated at all. But so, welcome back to our guest. Hello, guys.
How's it going, guys?
Hi,
Hey
Chris.
fellas, I got some bad news.
What
Johnny
happened,
wasn't
Johnny?
Johnny wasn't actually able to make it.
Oh, damn it.
Oh,
Yeah, so you're stuck with his little friend Jonty Larson.
Dang. Well, it's so good, Jonty. We thought that we were going to have Johnny Larson today,
I know,
the
I
myth, the
know.
legend.
I'm sorry, guys.
But it's so good. It's so good. Is that why you are behind? You don't want to show your face, or is because we trash talking about you last video?
It's because you were shit talking about my hairline in your last video. I heard that shit.
But so you
God,
know,
even this photo you've selected of me doesn't do me any favors, does it?
it's the only one that I had, man. It's the only one that I
yeah.
had.
There's no other photos, just this one.
Yeah, I didn't have anything else, bro. Sorry. I tried. I really tried. All the other ones were even worse.
I
And
believe.
yes. Now, mind yourself that you are now out of the world in the world, man. I know by fact that somebody was listening to us in Italy, in Santorini. So you are international now. You are out there.
Feels good.
Is that Cam?
Yes, Cam.
Is that Cam on holiday in Italy?
Yes,
Yes.
it's Cam on holiday. So yeah,
Yeah. Thanks,
I
Cam, for
actually do.
tuning in on your honeymoon. I'm sure
Yes,
there was a lot of better things to do.
yes. So I am really impressed
Not if you
with
ask
the
Cam's wife.
commitment. I love the commitment of Cam. He is a supporter. He play us over there in Santorini, mate. So yeah, thank you, Cam. Um, so guys, thank you for be again with us. It is good to have you both here, and we can catch up. There is a lot of things that people, I guess, want to know, and I guess things that you want to share your experience. Chris, first time over there.
Yep.
Jonty, for the second time, first time playing War Master, second time playing the WTC. We were doing the math with Charlie, and we realized that you are 20 games unbeaten in Europe.
Yep.
Solid
Wow.
stats.
Yep.
Yeah,
A modest guy. See?
pretty
Yep. And,
impressive.
and this is
Yep.
just because you like Warhammer.
I quite like Warhammer.
Oh,
I
yeah.
quite like 40k.
Yeah,
The,
not
the trick of going undefeated is just don't lose any games.
That's what I wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
What
That's
is
the
your
se-
secret?
that's the
How can
secret,
you
man.
manage?
That's all it is. Just
yeah.
instead of losing, don't
Excellent.
lose. Yeah.
Yeah,
Took me a while to
I
figure that
think.
one out, but
Yeah, I
Are
think it's
you
a very
undefeated
good.
at NZTC, Jonty?
nah, buddy.
Ooh.
Nah, not quite. This fella Luke, man, he's pretty top tier. Let me
Yeah,
tell you.
yeah.
I
You, so you, so
I
you were
saw actually
lucky that.
I'm pretty sure I saw a photo of Luke in your guys' last Chilli game, and I had some PTSD. I just suddenly
you,
started seeing orc boys everywhere, and
you were lucky this time. He was playing the guard, so lucky days.
I've beaten him playing guard. That's okay then.
Yeah. Now the problem is the orcs. Eh? The data was wrong. The data was wrong. That's not your fault, mate.
No, it's
Yeah.
all good.
Um,
So
but
what are we going to
yes,
kick
Charlie,
off
go.
with? Because Chris, we had you on before we went over to do kind
Yep.
of a coaches chat and what sort of our expectations were. Do you think we sort of met those? Was it the same or like what for you personally? How did you find it?
How did I find being a coach? It was,
Or just the whole event and our
oh,
role, and was it
yeah.
what you expected or?
It surpassed what I expected. I had one of the best times of my life going to WTC. It was so much fun. Like the community, talking to all the people there. Like that was the nice thing about being a coach was because once round started, you couldn't do anything for the first 20 minutes, half an hour. So you get to walk around, talk shit with all the other coaches and stuff like that. Especially me and the Austrian coach, we kind of just started like bickering at each other constantly, which was very fun. And then after we played and we drew, we then we're like, oh, so like, are you guys winning this round? No, okay, well, sucks to be you, and then just walk away. It was very fun. So, um, but yeah, no, it exceeded my expectations for like the entire event. War Masters was super fun. WTC itself was super fun, and then traveling on either side was good. The plane rides, though, I will not miss not doing that for a while. 17-hour flight is not a fun thing to do.
It's like, oh, you enjoyed your 17-hour flight. Well, here's another 8-hour flight just for
Yeah,
fun.
just for fun.
How
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
how about the work of being a coach? So I imagine yes, you have fun, but
Mm.
what I have here, it is that is heavy lifting. It's a lot of hard work, and people think, oh no, just it's just a water boy and he set up the tables, and it's way more than that, and it's a lot of work on the back scene, making sure the information is coming and all of that.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like, yeah, when I say that we didn't do anything when the round started, we would sit down for the first 5 minutes. There was Ben, Charlie, Gabby, and myself, and would sit down, put in our matrix scores, and then put in who went first each round or who went second. Because we found out one really important thing about WTC this year is going second meant you could probably get a slightly more drawish score if you were in a loss. And if you go first and you're supposed to have a big win, it's probably slightly less of a win. So it was actually really interesting data to get early on. So we input that data really quickly, and then Charlie was the tome carrier the entire week. So we'd give him the data, and he would hold on to it with dear life for the end of the round. And yeah, and then it was just going around getting predictions. Uh, Finn would take 45 minutes to deploy his army, and then David would already be finished his game. It was, yeah.
It was quite interesting what I found, because we kind of organically grew into some of this as well. And I guess, yeah, we're talking about the teams event, right? Going to that first round. We didn't really know what to expect because, Jonty, like last year when we went, we didn't really have a coaching team. We didn't have staff. Gabby was there to help out, but, for the start, he was sort of just thought, I'm here to help keep you hydrated, supplied, see what you guys need. We didn't really know what to ask of him. He was kind of like, I'm new to the team. Let's see what we can do. So, Jonty, how did you find that sort of difference between having, an actual New Zealand staff team this time round compared to last year?
It was really nice not having to set up tables. Like, I know I probably set up probably about, like, War Masters did all the tables, but in teams it was maybe I probably helped out a few times and probably set up maybe half a table 3 times tops. So just having that time and that little bit of extra time, sort of we know what the pairings are. I can start putting that thinking towards the match. It is really good.
And more time to look at table selections, and because we had all the printouts this time round, and Chris got us a few different packs around, and with the sort of the summary one and then the detailed one that you can look through as well.
Yeah, the detailed one was
really
especially important to me because I knew most of the maps really well in terms of where I can drive a 6x6 cube of a monolith. But sometimes it was, I just have to get in and count the squares and just make sure, yes, I can fit a monolith there, or no, I can't. So yeah, like the maps, and I especially liked having like some laminated print-offs and a felt pen who were just crossing off the tables as they went.
Yeah.
It just, it helped you focus.
Yeah, Chris, that was a really good call, like having that available for the pairings team.
Yeah, that was like a very last minute. I was like, I was walking through Kmart and I was like, oh, I'll just grab a pack of those. So like, yeah, like definitely like a good $2 purchase.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's also not undersell how valuable it was having water boys. Because I think Chris filled up my drink bottle probably about 3 times, and
3 times per fucking game, mate.
Yeah, it's not, dude. There was a lot of water runs.
As the guy who's like, cool, I've got 7 seconds left on the clock. That's probably a bit good time to end my turn 5. Like every second to me is vital. So just having that support was amazing, really helpful.
Man, so that week when we actually played, I think I was averaging 17,000 steps a day.
Yep.
Because the water wasn't very close to where we played.
To do the trip.
Yeah, and look, hydration was actually called out by the event organizers because it's a very hot summer over there this year, and inside the hangar there's no airflow, so it's 10 degrees actually hotter inside than it was outside. It was actually a lot nicer outside, so they actually called it out. They provided a big water tanker this time. It was free water. The bubbling water lasted for the first couple of days, I think, and then Dan had to drink normal water because he couldn't get his fizzly. But what I thought was very interesting is that, like, Chris, we had some expectations of what we had to do to help the team out and keep them going throughout the week. And then it kind of organically grew into this, actually, no, we can analyze data, we can get information. And like you said, like the go first, go second, I think having first round as supply drop kind of clued us in on that, because then we would take, so at the end of pairings, we would note down every single table, every single matchup, what our matrix prediction was, how people were feeling based on the table that they had got, and then 15 minutes in, 20 minutes in, when people had finished deploying, we would then look at who went first, who went second, because like I said, there's that little 1 point difference, potentially 2 point difference. On supply drop, it could be 3 point difference. Like, having that knowledge was really, really good. And then we would come up with a total number, which then I would relay to Finn and go, actually, we paired an 80, but because we've got 5 people going second, it's now looking like an 85. So we're in the top end of the draw. It's looking really good. And then we just do like a plus or minus system there. But that first round was funny, right? Because we got told off for pushing our players too hard for information because Finn was losing to T-Suns. He kind of buzzed himself there. So we needed to know how the other games were going, because we actually paired a draw against Israel, didn't we, in round one?
Yeah, it was. I think it was like an 85. We paired like the top side of a draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then for some reason, like going in, I remember there was like a really tense moment where we kind of went, "Oh, are we now falling to the losing side of a draw?"
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And in the
You
end, it was
ended
actually
up,
all fine, right?
Oh
you
yeah,
ended
no,
up
Patricia, do you
pushing
want to bring
really
up
hard.
the round one
Yes.
results?
We are going to bring the round one
Start going
results.
into it.
If you give me 1 second. I think it's this one. Yes. There it is.
Yeah,
If you
so
can see it here.
round one was so for people that don't know how WTC works. So the first three rounds are what they call the seed phase, or pod phase. So you have like a tier one, seed one team, seed two, seed three, seed four, based on historical ranking. And if you're a new team to WTC, you automatically go into the seed four category. So last year we were a seed four. We ended up 15th, including historical data. We somehow ended up 12th overall. And then this year we went in as a seed two team. So they have ways of, and there was a random draw, right? So they randomly drew a seed one into each pod, and then a seed two, three, four. So in our pod we had Israel were the seed fours, I think.
Seed
Mexico,
threes.
Uh,
seed threes. They were
C3
seed
because
threes.
Mexico was the new
Apologies.
team.
Mexico was our seed four,
Yeah.
and then we had Austria as our seed one, and we were seed two. So going into the event, we at least knew what the first three rounds of opponents were, and that was day one and two. So Thursday night, and then Friday morning and Friday afternoon, they were our opponents. So we could do a lot of preparation. We knew their everything in advance. We practiced pairings for it. So I mean, we did really well in the pod phase. And at round one, 126 to 34. It was a smashing victory for us. Um, and the way the pod phase works is the higher tier teams want to score as much points against the seed threes and fours as possible. That gives them a higher ranking going into the Swiss phase, so they have a better chance of hitting that kind of top five spot, because there's still quite a bit of disparity coming out of the pod phase. So we were on track, right? 126 is a seed one kind of team level going against a seed three and four. So we came out of this feeling pretty good. But
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I can't remember why, but something happened, and there was like a very tense moment in round, like sort of battle round two, where we are freaking out. Finn was going, I need data. Do I go for this big play or not? And then we had to go and push everybody for information, and then got told off afterwards. Small
Yeah.
slap on the wrist by the judges, because we're not actually supposed to interfere with any player.
Yeah.
Like in their game. So we just literally have to stand there with our boards with 0 to 20 on it and wait for them to acknowledge our existence.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So you
Charlie's
cannot.
still waiting for me to acknowledge his existence.
No, you're still pushing. You're still pushing. I
Yeah.
haven't told you to stop yet.
So you cannot go and talk with them directly. You need to kind of like sign them, and they need to say, well,
Yeah. I mean,
uh,
you can ask them if they need anything, if they need water. You can ask the
yeah.
opponents, like you can
Yeah.
just very generic stuff, but you cannot interrupt the flow of the game. I mean, Chris, you're
Mm.
telling us about the dice thing that the judge was telling you.
Yeah, so I was talking to Jay, who's the head ref, the head judge, and he was just walking past me, and we were just talking, and then I was like, "So what happens if a dice falls on the ground? Are we allowed to pick it up?" And he was like, "Well, technically not, but I don't think any ref is ever gonna like foul you for doing it." And I was like, "Geez, so like that's the kind of like level that they were at."
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
and yeah,
So
so,
you cannot touch the dice that are in play.
yeah,
Well,
exactly.
he explained it to us. The reasoning is, and apparently people have brought this up before. If the coaches pick up the dice and give it to the opposing player, they will complain that you're taking time away from their player by them reaching out and getting the dice from you.
Oh,
And like Jonty said, when you're getting down to 7 seconds left on the clock to finish turn five, I guess it kind of makes sense.
yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
last year it was 0.34 seconds in my round against
Yeah.
guard. So
So, how many dice did
that's
you pick up
point
out of people's
point
hands,
three
man?
four seconds, man. I don't even know. One dice, clock out, penalty, lose the game.
Yeah. And that's the thing, right?
Damn
If you
it.
clock out, the team gets a yellow card. If you get like 2 yellow cards or 3 yellow cards, it's a minus 70 point penalty for the round, which
70
basically
points.
means you lose.
Yes.
Fuck. Okay. That is massive.
Yeah, so it's very important to keep track of all of the little bits and pieces.
Just for out of curiosity, did any of our players got out of time during this WTC?
Yes, there were a couple of instances where we did, but when it happened, the opposing team also had someone that was out of time, so we ended up just going, look, we'll share time over here, you guys share time over there, we'll finish the games, show some good sportsmanship, and yeah, I think everything was fine. And the
Well,
judges are
nice.
okay with that, by the way. They're okay if the players want to share their time and manage their time. It's the players' call. It's not the judges' call.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting. And very gentle and I guess sounds very interesting. So now yellow cards, but yes, we run out of the time, but managed to sort it out between each team and think what went fine.
Yeah. Although Jonty did get a warning on War Masters.
Did,
I
did
did
Jhonny Larson got
Jhonny
out?
Larson.
Yeah, I did on stream, didn't I? I got a warning
Yeah.
for time.
Yeah, so the interesting thing is apparently the penalties from War Masters carry over into teams.
What?
Yeah.
That is
So
crazy.
they
Okay.
want you on your best behavior at all times for the entire event. Yeah.
That is very cool.
It's the only
yeah,
reason
so-
to start any fights.
So going back to the round against Israel, they are C3. We were C2. Big win. We all saw this one coming. It's like, wow, Team New Zealand starting punching hard. Very good results here. The pairings were, I guess, went all the way that what we wanted.
Yeah, the pairings ended up I think we paired quite well. Got a lot of
Mhm.
20-0s in this round, a couple of 20-0s.
Yep.
Jonty only 18,
A notable thing about
Yeah.
this round is
I was
Cam
playing
and
grenades,
Jonty.
man.
Yeah, Jonty went second into Grey Knights on supply drop, so both the
Oh,
up and down
yes.
factions.
Yes,
Jonty
Cam went
goes
second as well.
So,
That's
yeah,
right.
Cam
Yes.
also went second. So that's
We were
two
very
kind of
happy
very
about
big
that.
things.
Yeah. I think Finn went first.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Oh, that is
WTC
big.
Sons.
Yeah, Hayden went second, and he also, I think he did like a 26 point turn 5 because he was able to fire and
Yes.
fade onto the second to get assassinate and a bunch of stuff, and then get in-game scoring. So like, he did a very cheeky play at the end. So that could have been very close to a draw, and then he pushed that pretty hard. So I think everyone
man
was able
Hayden.
just to capitalize late game.
Yep. I think we had 5 games going second. We
Yeah.
had the advantage into the round. Yeah. So, that was a really good round. Wonderful opponents. And it was a good kind of an icebreaker round as well to get everybody kind of warmed up. And this was the one that we played at nighttime. So this was I think 6 or 6:30 start. So yeah, this one did finish quite late. But everyone was really excited. Yeah.
I guess the only good thing was the temperature inside of the hangar that is not probably very hot, I guess.
Yeah. It was kind of at a weird time because did we have dinner beforehand, or we kind of had a snack, didn't we?
Yeah, no, we tried to go out for dinner at like 11 o'clock afterwards, which was not ideal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But this was
First time.
did we go to the Beastie Burgers? I can't even remember.
No, we went to a kebab place, I think.
Yeah, I think we did. And then the second night
Yes.
we got Beastie pickup. Right?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah. Smart.
Oh crap! I forgot about that. Didn't charge you guys. Oh well, my shout.
Thanks, Charlie.
I completely forgot about that. It wasn't in my spreadsheet. It's fine.
No, the spreadsheet of doom.
The spreadsheet of doom.
Damn.
So but this is when me and Chris we first started doing the charcuterie board, and we took turns kind of taking it around. We had some grapes. We had what else do we have? Do we have this? No, we didn't have the sausages in this one. We had some chocolates.
We had chocolates.
Some
We had some
gummy.
sweets. Yeah.
So just
and
little
then we got some later on. We got cherry tomatoes and some sausages and all sorts on that. Like
Oh, so good.
we
Really
went through all
embrace
sorts of different
European
countries by the end of it. It was great.
Yeah, yeah,
That sounds amazing.
yeah. The bananas were surprisingly popular.
Very popular, especially for the opponents. I feel like
Yes.
our guys all wanted the sweets, and then the opponents like, "Oh, I'll be smart and take the banana."
Yes.
So.
And then we started putting like the little gifts that we got from other countries on there as well, like the Stroop waffles and things. That was a
Yeah.
big hit.
Yeah, those were delicious, by the way.
Yeah.
Those things were absolutely amazing.
If you people listening, if you haven't tried a Stroop waffle before, it is a hard waffle with caramel filling. It's a Netherlands treat. We got given a couple of packs. It was very delicious. You can have it with breakfast. Just stick it over a cup of coffee and it melts a little bit. Oh, it's so good. All right, cool. I can talk about food for ages. Mexico,
I know.
round 2.
We know. You're all about food, man. Um, round 2, Mexico. This is first time for Mexico. What I have heard from our local Mexican in the competitive scene, Victor, is that most of these lads play or lives in the States actually, so they play in that scene that is, I guess, quite competitive.
Are they there legally?
Uh, I
Jonty.
cannot. I will not say because I am not sure if I'm legal here. So
Not that kind of podcast, mate. Come on.
make American great again. Sorry. The yes. Let's go. Keep moving.
Going into Mexico was a fun round because we scored 127 in round 1, and Austria had scored 120. No, we scored 126. Austria scored 127. We're like, oh, we're losing by 1 point, so we got to make up for it in this game.
Yeah.
And I think so interesting thing about Mexico is they came, and the same with Israel as well. They didn't have any support crews or coaches or anything like that. They kind of just showed up with a playing team, which is amazing for some country. And like us last year, they actually got a local French person to help, who happened to be Gabby's friend, so our coach's friend. So we're talking with them throughout, and their French coach actually did the pairings for them, because I don't know if our listeners know that in France they have a teams league, 3-tier teams league, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, of about 1,500 people. So you get your buddies, you go in, you register your team for 5-man events, and you actually work your way up through this league. And then at the end of the season, I think the top team in the league gets first right of entry to the national team, or gets appointed captain, something like that. But Gabby and his friend were all in, I think, the tier 2 league in France. So they're all very experienced teams players. And it was funny because they're telling us afterwards that, Mexico's matrix, their data against Team New Zealand was just all green. There was like one orange, and
Beautiful.
that was it.
The absolute
Sounds like my
confidence.
magic.
Yeah,
I love it.
every single pairing into David Gaillard's T Suns was all green. It's like, we smashed that.
Well, you can see the result. David went to almost 20-0 there.
Yeah. So I think they had a bit of a wake up call that actually our data might not be that accurate, and then their French coach was kind of going through redoing it with them as they progressed through the tournament. So they ended up doing quite well towards the end. And we were the same last year when we played Australia. It's just like, oh, what just happened? And then we spent the night redoing all the data, working on strategy and tactics, all that kind of stuff, and we grew as a team throughout. And I think the similar thing happened in Mexico. And I think they actually paired better than Israel into us with some of the matchups.
Yeah, I generally think they had a better comp into us than Israel did as well. Like I think some of the lists just worked better.
Yeah.
I think they had a bit of help from a couple of the US guys and with their team comps and stuff like that.
Oh, yes, they had a couple of temporary US coaches and things like that, right?
Yep.
I remember them walking around. Yeah. Oh, yeah, we thought they were scouts.
Yeah.
Please go away. Please don't look at our pairings. They're actual coaches. Yeah, that's one other thing I wasn't expecting is people going around and scouting out other teams, how the pairings went, what do they pair, what table they're on. So I remember seeing someone from England and Netherlands and stuff coming over and just writing down stuff in their notebook. And then I had just put all the pairings into BCP, and then Ben just went over to the guy and said, look, mate, this is all public information. You can just look it up online. You don't need to come write it down. And we're having a good laugh about it. Yeah.
That's
But yeah,
interesting.
people do take note of every single other team, and they send people out to see what happens with pairings. Quite intense.
That's interesting. And we this was the round that was the stream that most of us
Yes.
probably watched the game of Alex against Abram, uh, the World Eaters with that uh, Rhino charge at the end of the round that I think everybody was cheering about the when the charge happened. It's like, yeah. It was a very interesting match to watch. Tactical Chile is there, as I have mentioned before. I was watching the stuff and the guys was talking about the Alex buff that he selected for that round, and I made those tokens for Alex. You know, if you saw them, was MDF tokens. So he had them on top of one of the crates. So I put in the chat of them. It's like, oh look, do assume on the crate they are the tokens, and the guys are, oh, thank you, Tactical Chili. And then I couldn't resist myself. I made the tokens. So yeah, I did my part of that one.
Yeah. We didn't get special tokens, did we, Chris?
Yeah.
A special what? Sorry.
Special tokens in our box.
Nah. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
pretty hurt actually. So like,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean,
They-
we've got
they-
fashion
they-
specific stuff.
Yeah, they asked for it. You didn't ask for it.
Yeah.
I didn't think I should have to.
Yeah.
You should know what I'm playing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's as they were saying on that streaming, because Alex was interesting to watch, and I can comment what we see. Alex had, and I don't know if it was his idea or somebody else, but he had bases or with the size of all the miniatures that he had in the army. So he has a big base to represent um, Angron. So he could position instead of move Angron, he could say, "Oh, cool, I fit here, I don't fit here." And they were talking about that as like that is a sportsmanship. You are providing tools also to your opponent to be able to see, where your miniatures are or what's the size. If they and when they mention the tokens, they say the same. It's like that is quite cool because now your opponent don't need to remember or guess. The information is there and it's visible, which is what they were calling part of the good sportsmanship of the team. So I was cool to be called the Team New Zealand on that part, I guess. So yeah.
That's cool. Jonty, you got the big 20-0 in this one. How'd you find your
Where's
round?
Jonty? Oh, there's Jonty.
Yeah. So the the player that I played against, I caught up with him a little bit later, and what he said to me, and these are his words, is that I fucked him so hard that I opened a third eye in his forehead, so that he could. And now his third eye was open, and he could just see all the possibilities. But we sort of had quite a bit of a debrief after that game as well, talking about sort of tips and tricks that I thought he broke it in differently. And the reality was, I just think he didn't really have much of an idea about the matchup at all.
Yeah.
Like it's a good one for me because I think this was the 18 Bilgren list. And it would just be a shame if somebody had a whole lot of damage too and could ignore modifiers. So that and Tesla picks up guard bodies like nothing.
Yeah, I was only 12
Yeah.
Bilgren.
It was only 12.
Yes,
Yeah.
this is the 12. Yeah, only 12.
Well, I mean,
Airborne
it
craft.
also helps on the Rogel Dawn blank, but
Yeah.
yeah, functionally, I remember there was like a sentinel at the start that he scouted up, and I was able to get quite a few pickoffs by just knowing where his vehicles could go to and not being in those places while still being able to have targets. So
Yep.
it just meant I was able to pick up assets
Yep.
without much difficulty and without really much of a slapback. That and I don't know how many times he shot like this Royal Warden I had on an objective. It must have been like 2 or 3 times he's shot at it and he's tank shocked it, and every turn he leaves it on 1 health, and every turn he regenerates 3 wounds. So yeah, it was a bit frustrating for him, and I can't blame the guy. It was very unlikely that he survived as long as he did, but he ended up scoring me like 10 points across the game, so it was pretty
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember. 'Cause it's been a little while. How early did you call the 20-0? Because I remember there was a point in this round as well where it was looking really tight.
Um, I went first, which obviously we never love in Hypercrypt. But I think it was quite early, just because of how many resources he committed to the mid board, um, as early as he did. Because certainly, like in this matchup, it's not really much of a challenge in terms of damage output. He's only got a couple of pieces that I'm concerned about, and as soon as we deal with the tank commander with demolisher, that's his only thing that he's got that's wounding the monoliths on threes, so that goes
Yeah.
away, and then he just has to rely on his lethal hits. So
Yeah.
it was pretty early that it was clear which way it was going to go. But like as I've said previously, my list doesn't really play for 20s. It plays for like super reliable 16s, that sort of range. It's only when my opponents make mistakes that I'm able to push that
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah.
So
But yeah, that's really interesting because one of the things we found was actually a lot of our lists couldn't push. There wasn't really room to push, just the way they were designed, because they were already running at 100%. It's not like they could go into overdrive. Whereas Jonty, your list was one of the few that me and Chris saw this as we went through, and like sometimes we'd be really close or be on the losing side where we just needed a few more points, and we'd be like, okay, who actually can push in better round 3? And it's usually like David could push for a couple more points, Jonty could push, and Cam could push sometimes into the right matchup. But yeah, a lot of the other lists just we're here for a 12, and we're going to get a 12.
yeah, I think I recall 2 times that you came to me and said push, and I don't think it was this round. I remember it was
No, it wasn't this round.
I remember it was our last round, and I don't remember which other ones, but maybe we'll remember as we go through them.
The Denmark round. We had to
Denmark.
push. Yeah.
Denmark.
But we'll get to that. But this round, I think if you had told us really early you were scoring a 20, I think there was a tense moment because I think Hayden was reporting back a 0 really early, going into T Suns. He was a very very unfavorable matchup,
This
and
one.
Dan's one we could see was going to be down fairly early as well. And I think in the early couple of rounds, Finn didn't kill a lot of War Dogs. His opponent was playing very cagey, pushing for a 10-10. So we're like, oh, we're actually progressing towards the losing side of a draw. Yeah. Do you remember much of this one, Chris?
Yeah, Finn was very unhappy with his round because he was like, "This guy's actually really good," and he was playing. I think Noah was the one merc from USA, I think, on the
Yes, that's right.
Mexican side, and apparently Noah just played it really well, stops Finn from being able to just like blow him out of the park. He ended up making, I think, one mistake turn 5 because he was going for a secret mission, which then meant that Finn could come back into the game. So it was a huge thing that obviously you can't predict earlier than before your opponent makes the mistake. Apart from that, I don't really remember a lot. I think David was only reporting back like a 14, I think.
That's
and then
right.
He pushed
Yeah.
that out. Like I think everyone just was on the hesitant side of the wins. I think Jonty and Cam were both saying like, "Oh, this is like a 15," but then they got the 20, so that's an extra 10 differential. David got an extra 4. Okay, now we're up to 14. That's actually a huge swing.
Yeah. Yeah.
in a team.
I think Michael was saying about 11 or a 12 for most of the game as well, and then came
Yeah.
back with a 16.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of upturns towards the end.
Hmm.
But no, that was a really good game. And then we did tequila shots after this round, so that was
Yes, the
perfect.
Patron was delightful.
Oh, so good.
Any time Mexico wants to come to New Zealand and bring more Patron, I will come.
Have you tried to see if you can find that here?
We probably can. It's probably just very expensive here, is what I assume.
Yeah, we do have
Yeah.
Patron here. I can't
Yeah.
remember specifically the type that they brought,
Okay. We can ask.
because they did say it was a special
Victor.
one.
Yeah.
We can ask Victor. Victor, that's the Mexican here.
Yeah, Victor's got to teach us the Mexican the thing they do
Yes,
when they drink.
the
Yeah,
toast. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, the round was, I guess, rounded up very well. 108 and 252. I think up to here. What happened with Poland here? No, it was not Poland. Sorry, Austria.
Austria ran through. Yeah,
Aus-
ran through.
Aus-
as
Austria
Austria
Austria.
was round
scored
3. They were our
one more
seed.
point than us.
Oh,
Again.
So
Yeah.
both rounds they scored a single point more than us.
They were
Oh,
2
damn it.
points up going into round
Yes.
3.
yeah.
Yes.
Damn
So we're
it.
saying, look, if we draw Austria, we need the winning side of a draw, and we try to push for a win, so we come out of the pods as the winning team. That was the goal.
And what happened? Let's see.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
Spoiler
Well,
alert.
round two was kind of where, Chris, like we got into the rhythm of reporting, and
Yep.
we got much better with the timings of
80,
like each
80.
game and when we could go in. So I thought that was like a huge learning kind of moment
It
for
was
us,
definitely
right?
where we found
Yeah.
ourselves, like our rhythm. Like Ben had his like jobs, you had your jobs, Charlie. We kind of
Yeah.
set into like what our plan was, and it worked as like a well-oiled machine from that point on. Like we were just like,
Yeah.
cool, you got your things, sweet. Okay, I'm going to check on these matches. Oh, I'm going to go to a water run now, and like everything just flowed really well. That first round was definitely a bit more like like there's a lot of like walking into each other. We ended up just talking as coaches a bunch. Whereas that round was like, okay, we saw there was other coaches as well, so like we kind of like looked a little bit at what like the USA coaches for were doing for the Mexican side. It's like, okay, they're just reporting a bunch of stuff. They were also not very chatty, which was like a bit of a bummer, because I was like, oh, these are people I can talk to, and then they just didn't want to talk, and I'm like, oh, this it's no fun. Yeah, but round 3, the Austrian coaches were an absolute delight. They were actually so much fun to talk to. So
Austria was a great round, great opponents.
so much fun.
Got a shout out to Andreas, funniest guy at the entire deal.
Yeah, I loved the like, I'll put the clock on me, I need to go out and have a cigarette, and you just walk outside, smoke, and then come back in. Like
That's
it's
quite
like
common. That's quite common.
Yeah. It's a big power move though, right? Like
Yeah. I think pairings for this one was very tight, isn't it? We actually paired an 80 into this one.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that. Did 80 because the reporting was very easy to Finn. It was like, okay, +2, -4, all based off the 80. Let's see, what do we have here?
A flat draw.
Yeah,
Michael,
I think one of the big takeaways.
Jonty.
Yeah, I think one of the big takeaways from this round was Michael getting a 9 into their Thousand Suns. Like I think that was
really
huge.
Good.
Like that should be like a 5 or less for Michael, like for sisters. And so understanding the matchup, he had played a couple of test games against David just to really try and understand it.
Oh,
And
yes.
so like this actually showed that Michael like adapted. He understood the matchup and he just was able to push it. He still lost, but those extra 4 points, that makes it so much closer to a loss for us. Like it's huge.
I remember now. Yeah, because this was the round with the Ironstorm 10 tank list.
Yes,
and nobody wanted to go into that. Yeah, so there was so the pairings had to be quite strategic in this one. I think our parents team started thinking about like some of these matchups, because this was actually a really bad comp for us to go into. They counted us with quite a few things. And then Taos managing pull a 10 out of that. I think he could have scored more. I think there was a couple of swings where the tanks just lived and managed to kill a few things. But he got us some really nice. He went for a big five tank turn and actually picked up 5 tanks.
Yeah. That's pretty sweet.
Um, yeah, and things blowing up and stuff. It was quite big, but getting a 10 out of that, because that was a big. It was a triple Vindicator, triple Predator, triple Reaper list,
Yeah.
plus one other thing. Yeah, it was like a very scary Ironstorm list, and it had table pick.
Yeah, so we've got an
And then
open table.
yeah, of course the big dick move was putting our melee only army into it,
Hmm.
and then getting a draw out of that. Finn's
Big
game was
dog
actually
play,
down.
right? It's
Yeah,
the big
Mm.
dog play.
yeah.
Yeah.
Finn's game was down.
Yeah.
I remember him talking about his opponent at the start. He was like, "This guy's just like the quiet savant, and he's just gonna like outplay me." Because that was a very good Drakari list as well.
Mm.
Yeah, and I think some things went right for Finn. He managed to pull a win back on that, but he was predicting maybe a 5 or a 6 for most of that round.
Yeah.
So we were. I think this was the first round where we started asking people if they can push.
Yeah.
Because we had to push for a draw.
Yeah.
And I
That
think
is impressive.
they like, because I remember their coaches would go telling their players to push because they were wanting to push for a win.
Yeah, I was talking to Mark after, who was the head coach for Team Austria, and he was like, "Yeah, like we were predicting. I think they predicted like an 84 out of Matrix, and then it dropped down a little bit, and then it dropped back, it went back up to 84, and then that's when they wanted to push, and
Yeah.
then I think the pushes just didn't go as well as they'd hoped. So then it was like, okay, just stabilize for the draw. So
Yeah.
And it's interesting is and it's a dead draw on 80, which is
Yeah.
really weird to get. And yeah, that was an interesting match. But Jonty, here, this what about you? You got the needs. What was your game here?
Sorry, my headset just cut out for a second there. You're saying
Oh, it's
I
okay.
got the NIDS?
Lucas
Yeah, yep,
Woback,
yep.
one of the twins.
Yeah, so I will admit that I did not see the enhancement.
Oh, that's right. This was the
In this
Vanguard nerd list.
This is the list where it's like anytime anything comes in from reserve and a 2-up, that unit takes a battle shock test. And I didn't see that until Dan said, like, this is your match, and I went, sweet. And I just went to like have a quick look through the matchup again. And I was like, hang on, what's that enhancement? Oh wait, oh fuck me. That's bad.
Yeah. And then,
And
of
Dan's
course,
like, you'll be
if your
fine. I
battle.
was like, I guess I have to be.
Oh, you got a leadership
So,
of 5. That's all good.
yeah, I'm the Silent King, yeah, leadership 5. So
Yeah.
this is the game where I was like, my Royal Warden is going to be clutch here because I'm going to put him within 12 inches of a bunch of units, and somewhere I'm going to cancel battle shock, and it's going to be really important. So turn 1, or I think, yeah. So I go first, I think, in this one. I'm not sure actually. But functionally, what happens is, as it turns out, he's got a stratagem that's like, you pick one of your units, you pick one of their units. That unit has to take a battle shock test, and you get +1 to hit, shooting or fighting, +1 to wound if they fail the battle shock test. So, reading that closer, there's no requirement that you be in range. There's no requirement that you be selecting that enemy unit as a target. It's just pick one of your units, pick one of theirs, battle shock. So essentially what happens is I failed to declare an intention to keep my Royal Warden within 12 inches of all these units. So I accidentally put it at like 13 inches from the Silent King.
Oh,
And I didn't declare an intention, so that's on me. And then he, at the end of my fight phase, goes, free strat, take a battle shock test in the Silent King. I go, cool, leadership 5, fails. So
Good.
I'm like, I'm in danger. Because, of course, you know, in range, within 12 inches of a Neurolictor, his army gets +1 to wound. So then it was like, alright, so the warrior brick with the winged prime advances up to charge in. He shoots it with a whole bunch of neurothropes. Blows up both menhirs and does a chunk of damage to the Silent King, who can't reroll any saves. His dice are pretty on point, but I mean, look, he's set it up with the buffs. Still didn't. I don't think he dropped pretty much anything. And sure enough, he one taps the Silent King. He damages it with the Neurothropes, finishes off with the Warriors, and that's one of my centerpieces gone pretty quickly. So to be fair, I think after suffering that and then not seeing the enhancement, I was like, I think I'm losing this game.
Yep. Because I think you called a 14 on this one as well, going in.
Yeah, look, I think without the enhancement, or even just noticing it and playing a little bit better around it, like I'm going into it, I would have kept more of my units on the board, just in places where they can move and do the actions that I would otherwise be bringing them from reserve to do, and having that Royal Warden where he, within range of the Silent King. I talked to him about it. He still would have gone for that play because I think he said he can throw about 5 battle shocks around at me. Like he's got his Shadows in the Warp. He's got his
Yes.
Neurolictor battle shock test within 12 inches. He's got the stratagem that he can use in his shooting, his fight, and then my fight. So he's like, there's so many battle shock tests coming at you every turn. And when you fail, I come in and get you. So having the ability to remove that battle shock would have been really clutch for, he sets his units up, start of the shooting phase or end of the movement phase. I can't remember whether it's start or end of the phase. We unbattle shock the Silent King, and now he has to try and do it again. And if he doesn't, and all these units are in place, and he doesn't, it doesn't pay off, then that's a bloodbath. So,
That's interesting, eh?
yeah. But no,
Did he-
I mean,
Did
sorry.
he upsy downsy the Zone Throat unit with the Neuro?
No, they
or
just
did he
started
just
off
walk
the
them
board.
up? Interesting.
started off the
Okay.
board.
Because I saw
He
them
started
right
off-
on the side just before they shot the Silent King. I thought they had go and seek and he upsy downsy them. But obviously they don't have
No.
deep strike, so that doesn't actually work. They can't do that, right?
No, so they had to come in from the strat reserve, and
Yeah.
like I'm not much of a screening army, and I was aware that he could come in and do that play, but I wasn't worried about it because, in my mind, I've got the cancel battle shock, the monoliths are in cover, he actually, if he comes in and tries to threaten me, there's a good chance he just bounces and then loses his resources, and then it's a big swing. Then we're looking at 16 plus kind of thing if he bounces, and I'm like, he doesn't do that play. So in my movement phase, I'm not looking to screen that play out because I'm like, it's practically suicide. Of course, I've made mistakes on my side of the board, and he does go for that play and it pays off. So I'm like, oh well, shit, my bad. Damn you, Royal Warden, being 1 inch too far and me not declaring an intention that he is within 12 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Always
So
declare your intentions, team.
Yeah. So I think going into the middle of that round, we had Jonty down from his predictions. Dave was getting around the 14. I think he predicted about a 14, 15 throughout the entire thing.
Yeah, he
Taos
was.
was reporting up because I think he put himself down for like a 5 or a 6 going to that one, and he was reporting up. Hayden had this as a 12, I think. He had a 3.5 because he thought he had the anti-Elder tech, and then he got
The mirror
out-Eldered
match.
by the other twin.
But he also went first, and this was Purge, right?
Yeah,
So
that's right.
that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah. You need to.
So that Elder matchup did not go our way. So yeah, we were looking very scary, sort of in the bottom of 3 area.
Yeah.
I think Dan was saying that he was going to come back with 2 points at one stage, going to Andreas, because there was just a big castle of greater demons just walking slowly toward Dan every turn.
Yeah, he also
that must
I
have
shot
been
his
scary,
entire army. Yeah, he shot his entire army at was it the Bloodthirster?
Bloodthirster? Yeah.
And
it
just did
survived.
nothing to it. Yeah, it only took like 8 damage or something. I was like, oof.
Yeah. I think there was one turn because he dropped Scarbrand, because Scarbrand Rapid Ingress and Dan dropped Scarbrand, which meant he couldn't shoot the Bloodthirster, he didn't have enough. But if he had dropped that Bloodthirster the next turn, it would have been closer to a 10.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it was a very tight round.
Couldn't be this round. Couldn't be for any, and the score kind of like represent what happened, to be honest.
Yeah. And I mean, at this stage, we were appearing still very much in the drawish kind of range as well, and our lists kind of lent to that. And that was one of the learnings, is we probably took a few too many singles lists and not enough of a skew that can create differentials and go hunting. So that was a learning we took away after the event.
Interesting. I like that. Round 4.
But yeah, so Austria beat us in the pods by 2 points, and won the pod coming out. So we paired. We paired down, didn't we?
Yeah, we paired down into Denmark, correct? Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
we
think
actually
paired
got
down.
the positive side here, technically. Technically.
Technically.
Yeah, we'll see how the round goes, but yeah.
Yeah. So this one, our only loss,
Yes.
was, I mean, we talked about it afterwards and we're analyzing it, and it was, due to not having done enough prep into some of the C2 teams, what potential teams we could play after pods, and understanding some of the tech in the list. And this is a prime example of skewing some of your team's lists in ways that your opponent doesn't understand to your advantage.
This was the
This
admin
one,
round,
question. This one is the round that so this round you played the Austria one, and then that was the end of the day, and this
That was
one
the,
you had
yep.
one
This is the
night to
next day.
prepare.
Yeah.
Yep.
Cool. Okay.
Yep.
Just to so people understand, eh?
Yes, so this was Saturday morning?
This would have been Saturday, yes.
Saturday morning.
Cool.
Yep. So basically the pod stages finish. They rank everybody in order of wins, losses, draws, plus battle points as a team. And then at that point you start the Swiss round. So 1 plays 2, 3 plays 4, 5 plays 6, etc. And I think we came out around the 9th, 10th mark.
Yeah.
And we're playing down into 11 or 12, something like that.
Yes, you were around 10th at that level, 9 or 10th, something like that.
Yeah. And then we looked at the lists. And I guess in some ways this is when some of the fatigue started kicking in as well, and just missing some of the things. And as part of the support team, we could see some of the players. One of the things that really killed me was when you see players make very obvious mistakes and you can't correct them because you cannot talk about it. Not even game-changing things, just where CP shouldn't have been spent, or cards being redrawn when
Not calling anyone out in particular.
We know who we're talking about.
No, I know what you're talking about. Everybody made mistakes.
What was the mission here? Just to remember.
What was this one? Hold on.
Round 4.
That's in my
Supply
phone.
drop.
Oh, hold on.
I think.
I think we already played Supply Drop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you
got
play
it.
at the beginning.
Supply drop was round 1.
This is Linchpin and Raise Banners, Search and Destroy.
Oh, yeah. That's okay.
Yeah. So again, Linchpin going second's pretty good. It's a lot of primary.
Seeing a pattern here around going second.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Unless you're Marcus Jensen going first against Hayden and just charging him in the face, which worked out.
Yeah.
We misread a few of the matchups. Hayden was not supposed to get 0. He was actually supposed to win that one. And Finn's one was probably the biggest upset going into admin, because we did not understand that admin list.
Yeah, we didn't respect the fact that if it goes first, it can just put too much pressure on the Blood Angels list, and that's exactly what it did. He went first, he deployed everything on the line, and then he went first and just ran I think he advanced every single model in his army just as far as it could forward.
Yep, and I think because he had the chickens, right? And he advanced in charge with the chickens and made the charge.
Yeah, and then he had 30 of the sterilizers, the birds with flamers, and he ran all of them forward as well. He's like, okay, you can charge me, but I'll overwatch you or something, and then the other 2 units are going to flame you to death. It was...
I do seem to recall that somebody said, dude, it's admech, all you have to do is run out there and punch them and they die. And I expressed some doubt about that, given that everything has like a 4-up or a 5-up invol, and I remember saying there's a lot of anti-infantry on those radium carbines, and they can get like AP2.
Yeah.
He just
Ignore
killed
cover.
On my side, at that stage, after they seen the Mexico one, and this being the New Zealand time zone that was uh, able to see it, I was trying to find information, live information of what was happening, and I ended up on Team Denmark Facebook page, and they were putting live updates of what was happening. So what they was doing was one of the lads, probably of the coach, he was posting, and he one post was Cam and Juan Navarro. Then the other one was the Alex with Nicolas and so on. And then he was comment what was happening on the real life update. So one of the things that I realized on one of those comments was that they mentioned Hayden deployment against Marcus. So they put a comment of like the Eldari player from New Zealand did very silly deployment. That's what they put on the website. I was like, why? I didn't want to ask because it's like they will see that I'm from New Zealand. So I was like,
That's a
but I was like,
spy.
yes, I was trying to catch, and I sent a message to Charlie. Charlie, they are saying that we are fucking up on the deployment. But
Yeah, I wasn't
you
checking
know,
my phone at all.
Yeah.
I know, you were busy. But then they were talking about that, and they were talking about the fiend that he apparently missed three important charges, three from
Oh
four
yeah,
charges he
he missed
failed.
3 5-inch charges that game.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes. And the guy put the Blood Angel player just failed three or four very critical charges. I think this will be a 20-0 for us. That's what
Yeah.
he put there. And well, we all see the result of.
Yeah. We also didn't expect the admech player to just start everything on the table and run at him, because typically you put the birds in reserve, and
So
because they fire and fade and do all sorts of stuff, right? So
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah, that was a bit of a surprise. Oh, and I think Finn said there was 2 chickens, 2 of the dragoons charged as blade guard. Chickens hitting on 4s, 3s if he took the doctrine. No rerolls that I can think of. Sustain 2, like
Yes. Yeah, so effectively
3,
full hits. Yeah.
yeah, 3 attacks each or something. And the guy rolled 6 sixes. And
Oh,
it's like strength 7 with lance, AP2.
Yeah.
Just picked up the blade guard.
that is harsh. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember going over, Finn's like, cool, he just rolled 6 sixes on sustain 2. And turned around. But yeah, for us, this was a one where we started, I think we started on an 84 for this one. And then it progressively got worse to the point where we tried to push. And I think Taos pushed a bit. David had already finished his game and got the 16.
Yeah.
And
Swear to
Jonty,
God, every round David comes over. I'm in turn 3, and he's like, "I'm done." Every
that was
goddamn
actually
round, I swear.
yeah.
Very true.
Yeah. And Jonty, I think you predicted a 14 to a 16 and you managed to push the 19. So
Yeah,
this
he
was
took
the
some
first
real
one we told
risky
you to
pain.
push. Yeah.
This
Um,
is the round where he dropped 20 half guard in basically one spot to try and one tap both immortal units, and the
I remember seeing that. Yeah.
the Overlord Chronomancer brick survived with one model. That's all I need, baby.
Bring it
Reanimation
back.
orb, yeah. Reanimation. And he was surprised that I killed 15 half guard between shooting and the Silent King's melee that turn. He did
I
not
remember
think I would.
walking by.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's like, I didn't think you could kill that many, and I was like, I did.
I
My
remember this
data says that
conversation.
I can do it.
I walked by and the middle of the table was just all Hearthguard. And I went to check on a couple of things, walked back, and I said, there's no Hearthguard left. Um,
Harsh.
and I
Harsh.
think this was the first round where we're having a conversation with Dave, and he's going, look, every round from now, every team is just going to put up something like the Necrons list that played him, where it takes fixed secondaries, sits back in deployment, and just doesn't play the game with his T-Sons. And it's not going to win, but he's not going to be able to push for 20s.
Yeah.
Which is quite an
Makes
interesting
sense.
strategy into some like the big attacker lists, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
because
blunt them
So
however you can.
exactly, like 4 more points, we would have drew the round. Well, maybe
Yeah.
75. Yeah,
yeah,
75 would have drew the
75.
round. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a bit of a wake up call into our preparation and the understanding of certain tech in lists for our pairings. You know, brought us back down from the undefeated pod stage, I guess. Because we had an hour and a half between rounds on the Saturday, going into round 5.
5.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't an easy round.
So overall, just to clarify, overall here, I guess was a little bit the what's the name pairings was not the way that supposed to go. We were not kind of like they had a. I don't want to say they had an answer to David 20-0, but they at least kind of like sacrifice somebody, and they were like, yeah, cool, you will take, but you cannot take the 20s, and any point
Mm.
that I guess the necro player will take from David was going to be a point that we are not getting, something like that. And then some of the matchups went completely on the opposite side.
Yeah, I mean, it was that Necron's list was a hypercrypt list, and I think he just took homers, or sorry, established locus and behind enemy lines, or engage, or something like that, and he just upsy downsy threw out a couple of units every turn for 5 turns,
Yeah.
and everything else was just in literally behind the owl in his deployment. Never came out.
You're right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
I
that's
generally
one
think
thing. Yeah, sorry, Chris. Yeah,
I generally think this round it was just lack of preparation. That's what lost us the round. Like
yeah,
nothing else about it. It was just we disrespected the AdMac list and we paired a couple of things slightly wrong just because we didn't have the information we needed.
yeah.
And that's
Oh,
again
we
we only lost by 4 points, right? So like
Yeah, I
Yeah.
know. With
one or
Hayden
two.
and Marcus with the World Eaters, what went down there? Because we talk about Fiend, the guy did all this crazy stuff that they were not expecting, and there was a couple of roll that went hot on one side and very bad on the other one. But with Hayden, the World Eaters against Eldari, I will not like that matchup. I'm an Eldari player. I
Yeah,
will not like that matchup.
I don't know what happened, but I remember the round started. We are checking on people's deployments and going first and second, and we walked by Hayden's table, and Angron was basically on his home objective.
Holy shit! Yeah.
And then we walked by because Finn was right next to Hayden, went to Finn's table, and there's 2 Dragoons already on his home objective.
Yeah.
And it's linchpin. So you lose your home objective, you don't score the primaries.
You don't score the primary. This
Yeah.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good.
No, but I
Well,
mean, that's a prime example of preparation leads to information, leads to better pairings, right? So no matter how good your pairings team is, they can only act as good as the information you have. So that was a really
makes
good learning
sense.
for us. Round
Makes
5.
sense. Round 5. Let's see.
The Netherlands?
This was a great round.
Is this Netherlands?
This one,
Netherlands,
I
yeah.
It is.
think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
84-36, a draw.
Yeah, tight draw, but luckily we pulled it back from a loss. We drew a draw out of the draws of a loss.
Yeah.
So what was this round?
I think the biggest one here was Hayden getting a 6 because we actually had that as a decent matchup. Because he's got a lot of blasters and haywires and things like that. He had the tech to take down vehicles, and I think this was an NDK list. Was it 6
I can
NDKs?
double check if you
Oh no,
give
this
me.
was triple Liberian and Terminators with only 3
Oh,
NDKs. Yeah, that's right. So maybe the Terminators just made it too hard for Elder with the 2 up, 4 up, and the Storm Bolter shots and the ability to redeploy as well.
yeah, that is annoying.
Yeah, so that was an unexpected one. Dave again was limited to a 14. I mean, that was the prediction, was the 14 against the Tyranids list, but not being able to push up there was pretty big. Jonty, did we have you as a draw into T Suns or
Nah,
a
it's a
small
loss.
win?
No,
We
it's
had you as a
a
loss.
small loss. Yeah,
Okay.
but I I got him to the place I call no double doom bolt. 13 cabal points.
Oh yes, I walked by and I heard it, and I fell over laughing.
Yeah.
Because the best part was you turn around to me and you explained what no double doom bolt was.
Yeah, it was the 13 cabal points. You can't double
Yeah.
doom bolt anymore.
I wasn't even really. Yeah, I actually wasn't there to talk to you. I was just walking by.
Yeah, I think Chris and Ben were sitting on a chair. They were sitting on chairs, like watching my match. I just remember them like at the pairings table or something, and I just crossed my arms and I was like, "No double doom bolt."
Yeah.
No double double.
It's a pretty good place to be.
Yeah.
Unless
I
you're
mean,
Tito, and then it's a bad place to be.
Yeah. I think this one we paired an 82 off the matrix, and just a few different swings. Because what was this one? This was take and hold. So again, I think we had 3 people going second on this one. Yeah, I think we were on the lesser side of people going second on this one, which would have affected the outcome. But it was very close. It was either side of drawing or winning for us. Sorry, drawing or losing for us. Very close to that 75 mark the entire time, and yeah, managing to pull that back to a draw was massive. For me personally, this was a really interesting round because the way Netherlands ran it was they had a very strong operations kind of setup. Every single coach had a very distinctive job. They had layers upon layers of data of previous tournaments, how their players performed, and the guy was like really open, showing us because they knew we were a really new sort of coaching team, support team. We didn't have one last year. We're still kind of feeling ourselves out, and they were really free sharing kind of what they do, and they're very involved in the pairings and the data side of things. So imagine when the games start, the players go and play their games, their coaching team turns into a mini operations center that keeps the tempo and the pace of everything, and they actually call the shots on what the players need to do in their games, what kind of scores they need to bring back. Because our little whiteboard that we had prepared, that Chris had prepared, was only 0 to 20, and that was it. And then they actually told us, going, okay, instead of going this way with the 0 to 20, it's better to go this way, because then that minimizes the time the player has to look for the number, because they don't have to go to the end and then go to the other side. Just very little like nuances of differences. They had a couple of options on their board that was like, come back in 5 minutes, come back in 10 minutes.
Let me cook.
Yeah, let me cook, let me wait. I can't tell you right now because they need a bit more time. And they said they used to have one that was, it's a flip. But then they took that option away because they found too many people were selecting the flip. It was really cool. Yeah. And the way they track how their players call as well, they will actually go, say Jonty called a 14. You actually pull up, and they have all the player profiles. They'll pull up, okay, what are the last 10 times that he called something? What did he actually end up getting? So they track, they've got full spreadsheets and tables tracking how the round is going, historical calls by the players, and whether this player tends to call up or down, and how they bring back points. And then they'll have a range of estimates for how the round is going. So in terms of preparation, data
That analytic from the top world.
Yeah. And that was a trend that we saw more as we played the tier 1 teams, right? Or teams that have historically been tier 1, like Canada, Austria, and Netherlands, were just they had all the data. It was really cool to see and learn from. Yeah. Also, they kept showing me pictures of their hot tub that they had at their Airbnb, and how they had dedicated. They had a chef that was like, they had basically a housekeeper that would do all of their cleaning and laundry and would like cook dinner for them. So the players go back straight after the last round, and they'd have like a barbecue wing for them and stuff.
Of course, but they don't have to pay the bloody trip, the flights, accommodation, and all of that. They just cross the bloody border, and so it's a lot of money that you save from there.
So interestingly, I was asking them about that. They said it only takes them an hour to get to the venue.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, it takes me longer to get to work in Auckland. So
pretty much. And Europe is a small, so it has very small distance on some countries. So it's like you drive half an hour and you cross the border. It's like, what's going on?
No, it's really cool just in terms of their preparation. And how coordinated they are as a team as well. Yeah, it's really good to learn from.
Nice. Cool.
Also, their t-shirts were
Um,
amazing.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll be seeing some of
yeah,
us wear their t-shirts at local events.
Yes,
that
for
sounds
sure.
cool.
Can't miss it.
I think we all ended up with a shirt, right? Like, did
I
Yeah,
anyone
think
we
the
can
whole
use
team
them.
got one. Yeah.
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 There's they love that orange color.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So very tight round, but we managed to keep it to a draw,
Yeah.
even though it's the lower
which
side, but
was
which was
massive. This
really
draw
good.
was
Yeah.
really good. Yes,
Yeah.
this draw was really good.
It showed that we could still scrap with the tier one teams. And I
Correct.
think everybody was pulled back a little bit and quite happy going into the next day.
Yeah.
And this is the Scotland.
Round 6. So the interesting thing about this round is we played Scotland last year in exactly
Yes.
the same round. So it was round 6,
Round
we played
six
Scotland
again.
last year and we lost. I want to say it's because it was priority targets and we had 5 games going first. And that was exactly the points we needed to do to draw.
Oh,
But, this was a completely different mission, right? So this one we played the Ritual and Swift Action on Crucible. So I think Peerings was pretty good in this one.
Yeah.
The big surprise game is Cam getting 19 against the Chaos Space Marines.
That was wild, right? Like,
That was a
just not
wild ride.
screening
Yeah.
out the turn one Terminator Deep Strike from 4
Yeah.
tanks was like,
Yeah.
that's a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I remember, we walked by and Drago was deep on his home
Yes.
objective, touching
Yeah.
4 different tanks and just going at it. So
oh,
that was a strong start for us
Mhm.
because I think which one was down early? I think the Drakari Nid game was. Oh yeah, Dan came over and said, "I'm not getting more than 5 points on this table and going first or something like that."
Yeah.
Yeah,
here, Ted.
yeah. Dave was quite optimistic because he said he played Scotland's Tower player last year as well and smashed it.
Yeah. Dave was very
Um,
confident the whole weekend. It's like,
yeah,
when you have parents'
it
priority as
shows, right? Yeah,
Thousand Sons, you probably should be fairly confident.
yeah.
Jonty here brought back a 12
Oh yeah, Jonty's
against
game was
me.
very, very good.
Yeah.
Jonty, you want to talk about that? That was a fun one to watch.
Dude, so turns out if you throw enough Morlock mortal wounds at something, it'll kill it. So it started really strong. I did get turn 2 here, which was nice because this is the first game that I rolled my no second game. First game
Oh,
I
the
rolled
Mexico
my
dice.
Mexican dice. My Mexican dice, man, the power of Mexico. Which saw me well. So I went second. I got to shoot some stuff turn 1, and then the board was pretty well set up how I wanted it. And so Innes was like, "Cool. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna drop 3 more locks. 3 more locks within range of this monolith, and we're just gonna see how much damage it does." So the first one comes in, does 3 mortal wounds, makes me take a battle shock. I fail. He uses the strat for the grenade and does another 5 mortal wounds.
Oof.
Morlock, second Morlock, 3 mortal wounds. Next Morlock, 2 mortal wounds. So I'm not sure what the math is, but it's what, 6, 11, 12, 13? Something like, yeah, that sounds about right, because I'm on 9 health before he's reached his shooting phase. Because I wasn't really concerned about the damage he had in the field. It's like 2 Maliceptors and an Exocrine. I'm like, cool. We can tank that without any issues. Oh, I've got 9 wounds left? Because he just
Yeah.
rolls like a baller on the models? Yeah, never mind. So that monolith died, which was unfortunate because it meant that I had to play more defensively than I would have liked. I didn't get into his side of the board till turn 4, turn 5. And it wasn't then until I started to cost him some primary, because I couldn't leave 3 Morlocks running around picking up all my scoring units and my objective holders like nothing. So
Hmm.
yeah, we had to play cleanup for a few turns, and it just slowed the game down for me. So, had we not lost that monolith turn 1, it would have been much easier to push a lot harder, because I would have had a monolith that I could use offensively and then one I could use defensively. But as it was, I didn't have one that I could use offensively till I freed it up later on. And this is a fantastic player, and he had a lot of counterplay, and and went for a lot of contests. And you used his army very well.
And shout out to Ennis for letting you some of his time, right? I think you were running
He
on time
did,
at one
yeah.
stage. Yeah.
It was turn 5, and he sort of gave me a wink and said, "I'm gonna go to the bathroom, put it on me," and I was like, "Mummy." Because at that point I was
Put it on
like,
my tab.
it was that point that I was planning out a turn that would, it'd determine whether it's a 10, 11, a 12, or a 13 or whatever, and we got most of what I needed that turn, so ended up with a 12, which
Yeah.
was okay.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, I think the going around, I remember most of their players played quite conservatively. Michael and Larry just had basically a staring match down this table that had a huge firing lane. Larry lined up his 2 Caladiuses behind one rune, and Michael had all his tanks behind another one, and they kind of just looked at each other for the 4 hours. So it was quite drawish. Cam blowing out the CSM put us in a really good position to win. Made up for kind of Dan going into a bad matchup. We knew that was a bad matchup, and there's no playing around it. Ricky's a great player as well. But then we thought we had won the round, right, guys?
We did think we had won the round.
So we finished up. We needed, I think, one more point to win. 1 point to win. Or
Yep,
it was like
point.
7 points from one game for us to win, or something like 8 points. Six points.
Yeah,
6 points to win,
penalties, yeah.
and we thought it was we had gotten a 9, but there was and this speaks to the fatigue and people forgetting things and just getting one of the rules wrong, which meant couldn't score 15 extra primary, and then dropped it back down to an 85 draw. I remember when Innes was looking real sad, and then we got it corrected, and he was just ecstatic.
Yeah.
He was like, "Don't even care if we're on the losing side of the draw. We got a draw." He was so happy. But I mean, that's the kind of rigor and discipline we need to train for as well. Just because this is round 6, you've played. I mean, Jonty, at this point, how many games have you played across the week? 6 from War Masters and 12 games. This is your 12th game in a week, in a single week, right? It does take a
Not
toll.
even a week. It was like 5 days or something, right? Like
yeah. And like, I'd say 2 players on the team. So you and Taos both played the full War Masters plus the 6 games, and you get tired. You get tired, right? And you miss things. I think from about round 4, round 5 onwards, Chris, I don't know about you, but I started seeing quite a few mistakes on both sides.
I also started seeing a lot of frustrations as well, just people like realizing they made a mistake and just like, oh, well, why would I? Definitely.
You keep when you keep kicking yourself on the mistake, that's no coming back.
Yeah. But no, we were still pretty happy with the top side of a draw here, because Scotland's a really strong team. They're one of the top C2 teams as well, and having not lost to them this year, I think was a great result. If we had,
we beat them, right?
Yeah.
Is this one that Alex chose to play the
secret mission?
Secret mission.
Apparently not realizing that it capped your primary at 20, and he had end of turn scoring, and ended up with 35 primary.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually quite a common mistake, because I saw some of our other opponents do the same as well. It wasn't actually the first time I saw it throughout the tournament. So in one of the previous rounds, someone did the same thing. So secret missions, people think you're capped at 40, but you can score up to 40 with your normal primary scoring. The secret missions just add to it. That's actually not the case. Your normal primary scoring is capped at 20, and the secret mission makes up the other 20 points of your primary.
Yeah, so you cover.
It's a pretty common mistake that people were actually making, and secret mission being a relatively new rule.
Because they think that you can go up to 40 on both with both.
as a combination, but no, it's actually
As a
half and
combination.
half. Yeah. So yeah, that game we had actually scored 35 on primary, and he was like, "Yep, that's all good." But then, oh wait, no, we didn't get the secret mission. That dropped us back down to 20 primary, so we lost the 3 points and drew the round. It's
Oh,
fine. It just shows that reps, preparation, repetition, and just
bloody secret
yeah,
missions.
trying to burn through because playing 7 games in 4 days is hard. People will forget
Yeah.
things. Yeah,
Oh, 100%. That's the last. You have been playing competitive every single day up to your
yeah,
best.
yeah.
Your brain is smashed.
Yeah, I mean, short of the first couple of rounds when you're playing the seed fours, where you don't really know if they're good or not, and maybe the seed threes, every single other round I would say would be like the finals of a GT or harder
Yeah,
in New Zealand. So you're 100% in there.
yeah, I can imagine. And then
I don't know. Maybe
last
Jonty's
round.
like, I'm top 5 in War Masters every round
Yeah,
or something.
what are you talking about, Charlie?
No, look, I apart from like the first 2 rounds, every round was a challenge.
Mm.
These are the best players in the world, and it feels like it. You have to work hard every round.
Yeah.
And when Charlie
Keep
comes and
pushing.
says push, you
You
push.
better push. You better
You
push.
better push.
Well, that sets up
Which is
really nicely
which is
for the
what
last round.
happened this round.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
So
have here stories.
So this was a very interesting round. So Canada has historically been a seed one country. They dropped out last year to top of seed two, I believe. I think they
Yeah.
beat us last year. Yep. And so this year their goal was to get back into seed one, regain their position, and they were very close to doing it. Right.
Mhm.
So if they had beaten us this round, they would have gone back into top 10 and probably regained that seed one position. And to be fair, last round draw in Scotland was not the worst thing because we submarined a little bit and ended up. I think we would have played Germany, right? If we
Yes.
had
Yeah.
won that round, yeah, which would have been amazing. But
Really cool.
playing the Canadians was also a really great experience.
They were really fun. They were really fun.
Yeah,
Like the
yeah,
coaches, everyone there was there for a good time. Like it was the end
yeah,
of the event, so everyone was just like, "Hey, let's just go out with a bang."
yeah. Now,
It's really
Chris,
cool.
correct me if I'm wrong, but the Canadian pairing team was actually all non-players, wasn't it?
Yes, yes. So it
Yeah,
was all the coaches were part of that, which is same with the Austrian team. Is
yeah,
they wanted to make sure that the coaches had the most data because they're the
yeah,
ones that are gathering data throughout the round, so they need to be the ones understanding the data to start with, which
yeah,
is
yeah.
very fair. Like,
And talking to the guys, like we were talking about why that was set up that way, and it made a lot of sense. And it wasn't something we had thought of or actually
no,
prepared
not at
for.
all. Yeah,
Um, yeah, and actually, it's something that we'll probably want to implement and have a lot more involvement in terms of data
yeah,
collection and making
yeah,
some decisions and things like that. Right? But at this stage, we were already kind of getting the hang of some of this as well, because we would
for sure.
stay real close to the pairings, jot down everything, and we got so good at adding everything up.
Yeah,
Like straight after the players go to the tables, boom, we're like we paired an 82, we paired an 84. This is what we're looking at. These are kind of the risky bits,
yeah.
and then we'll go prepare food and come back in 20 minutes, kind of thing. But this was a very very tense round because we were draw drawish to about halfway, and then Canada
Mhm.
pulled ahead, I believe,
Yes.
because Finn again, lack of preparation and data. We put Finn into a Drukari list that had 2 Void Raven bombers, and again it was
Oh,
like, just kill
Space
them, it's
Marine
fine.
kills.
Flies are crap. It's got 6 shots. Actually, it's got 12 shots per plane, strength 8, AP 4, 2 damage, perfect for killing marine bodies.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
12
hurts.
shots because it has 2 guns, not 1.
Yes, AP4
So
is
that
just good.
Yeah, and I think a little bit was we didn't look at their previous rounds where that Drukari list was literally flying around hunting Blood Angels and other Space
Yeah,
Marines.
yeah.
So that was a bit of a miss on our part. Uh, Finn actually coming back with 4 points was already amazing.
Heroic. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was by round 2 he was like, "Boys, this is a 20, and I'm going drinking after this."
Yeah.
I'm going to smash myself.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
Um, I think Dan getting an 11, the high side of that round was his opponent made some mistakes.
That was a pretty funny round. His opponent
Yeah.
allowed him to rapid ingress onto the center objective to score extra primary, and then they did that. It was a bit of an argument, not an argument, but it's like, oh yeah, like I didn't screen it, and then after they started the next turn, then they realized that it was scorched earth, so you can max it 10 primary anyway. So the entire
didn't matter.
thing did not matter at all.
Didn't matter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Oh,
pretty
that's funny. That's really funny. Yeah. Because I think the opponent was like, it's perfectly fair thing for him to do because I didn't declare in 10, but you know, yeah,
for sure.
it was obvious what he was trying to do. But yeah, no,
Yeah.
I think they got along pretty well afterwards.
Oh,
It
for
was-
sure,
It was
yeah.
a good game in the end. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hayden dying to indirect.
It's not surprising.
Funny.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. It's only
But I think-
Charlie playing the Astro Militarium is how Eldari can beat the matchup there.
Oh, don't even. Yeah, so I think we went in there with expectation that was going to be a loss. I think a 6 or a 7. So that was pretty on point. The big loss was Finn's game, and Michael. Oh, poor Michael. Michael still has nightmares about this game. We paired Michael into a tiger shark,
Yeah, boy.
guys,
Oh, this
on
is
a
the
super
Tiger
light
Tiger.
table.
Yeah.
On the light table. So he didn't even have 2 sets of big L's to
Yeah.
hide behind. And with the Tiger Shark, it's got a ton of shots. It can see everything on the table. It's true line of sight to everything. And it was just having fun blowing everything up.
Yeah. It was brutal.
Oh,
Was this list Montcar? Or was
Yeah.
it Carrion?
It was Montcar.
this one was
This
was
Montcar. It was Montcar.
Montcar.
Yeah.
Yes.
Triple Fireblade, triple Breaches, double Devilfish, Hammerhead, Pathfinder Piranhas, double Riptide, double
It did have
Skeleton, and a
it
Tiger
had
Shark.
the triple piranha unit, so you can scout it forward, and then turn 1 you can just go and nuke
Yes,
something.
that's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it had the 3 and the 1. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Super inconsistent though. I think it didn't kill an immolator, so like the 3 of them didn't kill an immolator, so it's like, ooh.
275 points for the Tiger Shark.
Yeah,
It's so cheap.
it's so cheap.
Say,
No, the
gotta
amount
go
of
up
gun
there.
Iron
you-
Blaster,
You
Iron
wait.
Cannon,
Expedius,
Missile
it's going through the roof.
Seeker missiles,
Hey,
and
Jonty, do
Nice-
we have a Tiger Shark?
I don't have a Tiger Shark. I have a
There's a-
Barracuda.
There's a doubles coming up.
gun.
I hear there's a doubles coming up.
Charlie.
What? It's only 275
You have a
points.
Tiger Shark?
I don't.
I
Patricia,
know
have you
a
got a
person
Tiger
that
Shark?
has one. I know a person that
Can we
has
borrow one? Can we use the Barracuda as a Tiger Shark? Please?
What?
Oh
what
wait,
about-
I'm approving proxies. Yeah, that's allowed.
Holy crap, Ronnie's.
I want to
I
talk,
think
I
I
want to
know a
talk a
person
little
that
bit
have
about what Charlie asked me to do this round.
Yes, we want to
Okay,
know.
okay, so-
I know the story.
I'm gonna tell the story, Charlie, because I like telling this story.
Okay, let me lead up to it because
Okay,
yeah.
alright,
So
alright,
I remember me, Chris, and Ben. We're getting quite frantic because we were keeping the pulse, and with Finn going down, Hayden, Michael all looking bad. We're actually losing now. At one point
Yeah.
we got down to 72 was the predictions that came back. That was before, and that was with Dave having pulled in the 20 already. I think because he finished his game. His opponent just went for a big turn, going, "Can you kill me? If you can, it's 20. If you can't, I'm going to come and kill everything." And Dave killed everything.
You tried to stat check the damage on T-Sun's bad call.
Yeah. That
Yeah.
yeah. But House at this point was calling a 10.
Yep.
And we were down like 70, 72 points. And Finn was not having a good time. And I think we just
Go
looked,
for the 20.
we're making a call. We're just going to tell the guys to push. And we knew who could push, right? We knew it
Yep.
was Taos and Jonty that could push. That they had the potential to push.
Yep.
So,
No, 100%.
Jonty, what happened when I asked you to push?
So I am playing the game, right? This is a matchup that I have as a small loss in the Matrix because he's got the ability to deal with the mortals. He's got some haywire which can deal reasonably well with the monoliths. So on paper, I don't love the matchup. It has the bikes instead of the scourges, which is interesting. They're harder to hide, but they also have and they have less mobility. So I don't think that I think they're strictly worse. really, looking at it. The only advantage is they had on 3s. But, like, it's still a lot of haywire, so I am playing the game slow and careful, and things are looking okay. I'm kind of like, yep, I reckon I can get this to a draw, maybe a small win. But I'm being careful, because if I push too hard, everything collapses and I lose. Charlie comes over, he says push. I'm like, oh god, okay, I'll try. And I'm like, I guess I will just 300 steep strike my monolith in this tiny little space you've left me in your backfield. He's been like round 1, round 2, he's declaring his intents, he's measuring, he's making sure I can't fit. And I've told my opponents all tournament, I will check anything. You want to ask, can something fit here? I'll come over, I'll tell you. But if you don't check it, I am looking for holes. That's my job, find the holes. So sure enough, I've already seen it. I know it's there, because I saw him moving his units away from the 12 he had measured. So I'm like, all right, well, I guess I'm going to give this a go. So we 300-shot the monolith in his DZ. We bring the immortal, the player's Mancer unit out to disglass some stuff. And we say, let's see how many bikes I can kill and whether I can pick up enough threats in one turn, because if I don't, and things can bounce. He's got fate dice, lots of things have involves. And if it bounces, I lose the game. At the end of that turn, he has 3 out of his 8 jet bikes left, and a couple other units are dead. So we're like, yep, okay, we pulled it off. But it was real intense. And shortly after I pull this off, Charlie comes back over to me, and he says, things are fine. We're actually looking good. You don't need to push anymore. And by this point, I have like Monolith on his home objective. I've killed like half his army and like some risky as plays. And I looked at Charlie and I say, Charlie, I have already pushed. The pushing is done. I can't unpush.
Push, yeah.
No, what was
the
interesting?
Pushing is completed.
So when I went over to ask you to push, we were losing, and it was push as hard as you can because we would lose anyway. And as soon as I asked you to push, we walked over to Taos, and Jeremy, his opponent on T-Suns, Taos made a bunch of charges, went in, and I think Jeremy failed Battle Shock on a bunch of things, so he didn't get his Cabal points, and he failed all of the fallback leadership checks against the Exalted. 8-bound. So he couldn't get out of combat, which means Magnus couldn't shoot anything. And at that point, we're like, okay, this World Eaters T-Suns game is going to be very close to a 20. We're safe. It's going to be a draw at least. He's just pulled it back for us. It was looking to be like 18 plus, right, at that point. But then with Jonty pushing harder, we actually pushed so much. We pushed from a loss into a win, which was amazing to see.
As that's where you say to Jonty, push us if you were giving birth to a kid.
Yeah. Jonty came back and said, "It's a boy."
It's a boy.
Which is the second time that I had said that to Charlie. Both times he says, push like you're giving birth. Both games I come over, I say it's a boy. Charlie asked me, why is it
No, that is not appropriate for the podcast.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
It was pretty funny though, right, Charlie?
You said a lot of funny things that cannot be repeated in public for the entire week, Jonty.
Hey, at least
yes, we will have a catch up later. But that put it as a win, and that's a very good win actually.
It was a decent win, yeah.
It was a good win.
Yeah, I think because we were expecting like 3 points from Michael. Finn was saying he was getting 20 0'd. Hayden was in the low, like 4 or something, and everybody bought back just a few points more, which was really good.
Yeah. Really showed the tenacity of our entire team. Like, hey guys, we need a couple more points, and they just sat down, pushed for whatever they could. Like it was a really cool way to finish it because we saw everyone's dedication to just like getting what we needed. Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah. And it would go over, and Michael's like, "Oh, guys, I think I can only get 4 points." And we're like, "That's good. Get 4 points. We need those 4 points. Those 4 points are critical. If you can get a bit more, even better. But look, if you can guarantee us 4 points, then we're in a really good spot. And you just got to do things like that to keep the morale up as well,
Yep.
along with some juice boxes and whatnot.
Yeah, some Capri Suns is definitely what you
Yeah.
need.
Yeah. No, but we so we won that round, ended it on a really good finish. Had an amazing time with the Canadians. They're a lovely bunch of people.
Yeah,
We
that
shared a
was
round
super
of
fun.
beers afterwards.
Yeah.
And then that was the
Yeah.
entire journey, I guess.
That's
That
the
was the
one.
result. That's the result.
Super, super proud of the entire team of their result. Like ninth is just amazing, right?
Yeah. And I think
Very
more importantly is not only did we win best sports, which we found out at the award ceremony, we didn't realize at all. We almost forgot to vote for best sports at one stage. Whoops.
The best is the
but
sports.
yeah, but we were voted by all 7 of our opponents, because with best sports you had your first selection and your second preference, so there were two points and 1
Yep.
point respectively. Apparently we were the first choice for every single one of our opponents as best sport.
Damn. That is
So it
perfect
just
sport.
shows New Zealand 40k, what we bring to the international scene and what we sort of bring to our everyday 40k when we play at home in our local events and stuff, because we just, this is how we play, right? As a community, this is how we play, and we showed up. It's good.
It's awesome.
Yeah, no, that was really cool.
And then Jonty going, how did we get best sports with me on the team?
I think I said me and David.
yeah. It's a miracle, but
Yeah.
It was a miracle.
Nothing better than becoming first in the singles placing and getting best sports, right?
oh,
Great.
No. What a great job. But yeah, I mean, I think overall my takeaway is, so compared to last year, we were up by 1 victory point. So we had 1 loss turned into a draw in terms of actual results, but we played much higher tier countries, much stronger teams. We didn't play any tier 1 countries last year except for Australia, which we had to play. We were mostly sitting in the sort of top of 3, bottom of 2 area. This year we're definitely top of 2, heading into bottom of 1. And I think with a bit more prep, with a bit more sort of exposure into how some of the top teams run their lists and pairings, I reckon we could go for top 5.
yeah. I believe.
I believe I can fly.
I
Ooh.
believe.
Don't be like Jhonny Larson.
Jhonny Larson.
Jhonny Larson, man, he's a legend.
Yeah.
It's a
You
bloody legend.
really gotta respect Jhonny Larson.
100%. I reckon you will need a T-shirt next year that says Jhonny Larson.
Well, he's already got one that
wouldn't-
says Larson, so
I would not want people to think that I am as good as Jhonny Larson, because I'll let them
Yeah,
down.
true.
Yeah.
True, Jonty. That's true.
That guy goes for some sick plays and he pulls it off.
yeah. Jhonny Larson would have beaten Green Tide.
Dude, Jhonny Larson would have 20-0'd everyone all weekend, all week.
All week. Oh,
Jhonny Larson is a machine. We've never seen his like before. We never will again.
that is a one-off. I think overall we can see every people that I have talked about this year they really enjoy it. I talked lots with Charlie. Well, that's no surprise, but
He talks. I just have to listen.
Yeah, that's true.
You don't even have to listen, right? Like,
and I don't even talk, I don't even speak properly this shit of language, man. So that's amazing.
He called me when I drove to work today.
ooh,
Oh
that's cute.
no! He told me. He sent me a message because probably he was bloody boring on traffic. He sent me a message. I need to go to the office today, and my drive will be an hour. If you want, you can call me. And I was like, I was with
I
my
was
son.
being polite.
I know. That's your first messages in the morning, mate. And I was with my son and I was like changing a diaper. And I was like, yeah, it's cool. Why not? Changing diapers and talking with Charlie. It's kind of the same. Let's go.
Thanks.
So I called Charlie, and we have some chat. But that is important. We are doing big things. So yeah, but yes, it is interesting. I think what I have get from Charlie is that the coaching team is a bloody key important part of the for this event, for preparation, for the to get the result. Having a team that is there supporting the players, it is key to the success. So it is something that I don't know. People may say or may think, if I don't go to play, why I'm going to pay to
Mm.
travel there for not doing it? You are part of the team. You are 100% a
Yeah.
key member for that. And the fact that you guys got ninth, yes, is because Jonty pushed hard as he was giving birth, but it's also because you guys were there to analyze the data, adapt, follow up, help Finn. He was a playing captain, so he had to
Yeah.
concentrate on his game. And sometimes there is no time to take decisions, so somebody needs to do it, and that's where the coaching team is for experience, knowing your players, knowing the position, and put all that shit together and take the important decisions to push, bring me points, whatever.
Yeah.
I think we didn't really expect the job of being a coach to turn out like this, and we kind of learned while we were there. I mean, it's the first time we had a full contingent,
Yeah.
and it was kind of like, oh, actually, if we do this thing right now, that would be super useful. Because end of the day, the non-players are actually the ones that have a better grasp of how the round is going. The
Yeah,
players can only see
100%.
their own game. Yeah, that's
and
just a matter of
yeah,
fact, right?
that is a conversation that we had. I know I have played teams here with you guys and everything, but I play football. And as I said to Charlie, when you play football and you are in the pitch, you can only see what is happening in your square meter, and you get frustrated. I don't get the ball. Why nobody pass the ball? Well, actually, the opposition had a very good context to what we're doing, and it's not because your teammates are dicks not wanting to give you the ball. It's because they cannot do it because we are not retaining the ball. So that is where the coach need to take the decisions from the sideline and say, okay, cool, we need to reshuffle. They have do the substitution, change the strategy. I know that it is technically not the same, uh, but it is kind of like where I can see when you are on the sideline, you see way different picture of what is happening differently when you are in your own
Mm,
square meter.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I'd say like the more experienced the coaches are, and it was really good that we had very good players to tag along this time, um, because you can't ask questions.
Mm.
They can give you a finger to point at a number, which you have to share with the opponents as well, right? Any
Mhm.
communication between coaches and the players, they can ask to see what you're talking about. So you can't just like, do secret squirrel stuff.
Oh,
They can
There's no
actually ask to
secret
see the
combos.
information.
Yeah.
Yep. Everything has to be open. The opposing coach can ask. A lot of times we'll just ask the other coaches what they predict, and we'll just take that
Yeah.
because it was easier. but but having coaches and people there that understand the game, that may be faction specialists as well, that can bring their expertise and add to the team. It's a 1+1=3 kind of thing.
yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
that's cool. What are your takes, Jonty, from this year? And you had been in the player side, the 2 years in a row with, and the first one with the help of Gabby, that was fundamental that time, and this time you have a full team, coaches. I guess there's a big difference there, eh?
Yeah, significantly. More support team, more support for the players. Players can perform better. That's
Pretty much.
it's a straightforward formula. Um, but also, what we developed in terms of putting more decision making in the hands of the coaches as well. They're not just there to water and feed us. they're in the best positions to be making those decisions about who's pushing,
Yeah.
where can we get these points. They've, their head's not in a game. They're able to look at all the games. It's more of,
Yeah, the big picture. Look at the big
I like,
picture.
I like the term, Charlie's used a few times, command center, like.
The command center. I
But,
like
but
that.
also, I'm thirsty. Can you fill up my drink bottle, please?
Man, you
Well,
didn't even have to
next year,
ask. We knew when bottles were empty.
You
next
got,
year
you
we
got.
are
We had a
going
spidey
to-
sense.
Yeah.
I think next year what you need, Jonty, is a pair of adult diapers, so you are fully prepared. You don't need to
And
go toilet.
that's before I go to WTC.
On that note, I don't want to bunk with you again if that's the case.
Yeah,
You'll
probably
miss
not.
me, Charlie.
Well, we had a good time.
We
I
did.
snore when I sleep when I get tired, and Jonty's just so practiced at getting me to shut up now.
Yeah,
It's great.
you just have to shake him a little bit. Just
Yeah,
make
that's
a bit
easy.
of noise or something. Just get him out of that super deep sleep, and then he'll be quiet, and then I can
Yeah.
get to sleep, and
Nice.
then
So
Oh.
if I look real tired throughout the week, now you know why.
Yeah.
What Jonty? Next time you buy a bag of cheap tennis ball, so you sleep with that. When it starts snoring, throw one ball, and that sorted out your problem. I think it's way better than try to check some noise. Man, just throw a ball.
no. I figured it out actually by the end. I would just clap.
Oh.
Just one loud clap.
So
Right?
he-
Charlie doesn't wake up, but he's like, stop
Get-
snoring.
get to-
Until he gets to
nice.
sleep.
So
Oh.
you are saying that Charlie's like one of those magic lights that works with the clap?
Ooh.
I don't start snoring.
I
if
mean,
you clap
I'm
again.
not saying that. Maybe.
Sorry. So good, all good. But yeah, that sounds incredible. I really, really envy you guys for that experience. I think I talked with you and with the other lads, and it's really interesting to see the stories and see the experience. I guess anybody that we have said this before when we were doing the road to WTC, encourage people to, if you have the means and you have the time and you have the passion to go and be part of the team in any way that you can. I guess New Zealand now is in the position that have been there twice. There is a point that now they need to build a process, I guess, to consolidate and do this in a way that is consistent for the next years. How you get the captain process, the selection of the players, the pitching for those coaches, and all of that. I guess needs to be a build up. You have already the experience. You know how it's going to be there. You have that touch with the big leagues or the big teams. You now needs to build your based on New Zealand a scene of players. You need to kind of build for the future something that is consistent. So there is doesn't matter who is the captain, doesn't matter who is the people, because we all get old. Charlie's already how much, 50?
You're older.
Charlie probably 60,
Nah,
especially
25.
with that hair. Yeah, I don't know.
You mean this full head of hair?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Look
know
at
that's directed at me.
But at least you don't.
Not speak.
Yeah, at least you don't look like Hayden, man. So you are all good, man. Grandpa Hayden, love you, Hayden. I know you were fall asleep at to this point because it's too long for the video, so I'm safe.
Oh, no. I think Hayden's still on holiday over there.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, it is. It is. I have seen his Facebook being there. He had pictures around, so
Yeah.
he's enjoying taking the time. He's retired, so yeah,
Why not, right?
why not?
Uni holidays.
I will do when I retire. I will do the same, but I still 20 years from what he is now, so it's all good. But yes, I think that's the main thing. And you guys did amazing. Put the name of New Zealand very high bringing that base board plus the 9 plays, I think is a win, a complete win, 100%.
Yeah. Actually, so me and Chris were, I think we were talking about it. I think we're going to average based, because they do weighted historical placings.
Mm.
So I think we're going to end up either 10th or 11th, which means if there's same number of countries or even just one more, it's very likely we will be a seed one country next year.
Yeah, it'd be awesome.
Ooh.
We'll be the
That would
bottom
be
seed one country, but still a seed one
Yeah.
country. There's a
doesn't
good
matter,
chance
man.
we'll be a seed one
Doesn't
country.
matter. Yeah.
C1 country is a C1 country, bro.
Yeah.
And that means that the expectation for next year is also higher if that happens.
Yeah.
Overall, I think whatever you get now in the future needs to be the same things. New Zealand needs to be a sportsmanship team that performs not only in the board but also being a very a love team, which I think you guys have managed to do very well.
I want to say it was 50% the charcuterie board that we had. Just
I
by
reckon.
the end of it, we ran out of stuff. We are just putting like
Yeah.
LMP and small chocolate bars on it and just going around.
The Whitaker's chocolate was a big hit as well, for sure.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%, man. I sent those chocolates to Chile, to my family, to everybody on the holidays time, especially for Christmas. Just seeing a bunch of bars of Whitaker down there, and yeah, people love it.
I was surprised. I felt a bit silly taking chocolate to Belgium, Belgium being
Mm.
famous
Of
for
course, of
chocolate.
course.
But I
Yeah.
don't think too many other teams actually had chocolate.
Yeah.
And we
That's
were just
good.
giving out entire bars going, here you go, enjoy.
Yeah.
Enjoy. Help yourself.
Yeah.
But the New Zealand chocolate is really good, man. It's
Yeah.
really, really
Yeah.
good. So nothing to envy to the Sweden's and Belgium and any of the other countries that have good chocolate. So, by the way, Charlie, thank you for those chocolates that you uh, gave. I did not try a single one. My wife ate the whole bloody box.
Cool.
And I asked her, because I told her I have not eaten any, so please be mindful of that. And then 2 days after, I go and ask, hey, where's the box of chocolates that Charlie gave us? It's already gone. I was like, what? Yes, yeah, we finish it. I have not touched a single fucking chocolate. So and she's like, oh, I I ate it out the whole box.
That was just a
So
bit of appreciation from us for, cutting all the boxes, getting everything ready for
Yeah.
us, supporting us, and glad to know your wife enjoyed it.
yeah, she enjoyed it. Well, she's the one that's suffering more when I have to be honest with you, the boxes was a short time to do all what I did because I pretty much redesigned my box to the team, which is now a big hit. Everybody loves the box, but I had to cut up too late. So basically, sometimes I wake up, put an alarm, wake up, change the bloody sheet of wood and go back to sleep, wake up early, so keep up the production to a point. And then my daughter, the teenager, she helped me to glue all the boxes. I had a production line on the dining room. My wife is like, when this is going to finish? Soon, just hold. So I
That
have
was
a
very much
pile of
appreciated.
boxes. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So that was cool. Yeah, I'm more than happy to. Yeah, was really nice to do it. I heard the comment from Jonty, and you make it even that I can feed my clock inside. 100% was not the intention. I didn't know about that. It was a lucky coincidence, but I love that Jonty mentioned. So now I know that the small clocks, that the thin one, can fit inside of the box, plus the bloody objective markers.
Yep.
Yep.
It's a win. That's that. I love that comment from
And
Jonty. Is like totally, yeah.
and 100 dice. In the
Yes,
bottom of my dice box, I have my chess clock, my objectives, and 100 dice.
100 dice.
Yep.
Because on the top, I already have
On the big
Not,
square, I
not enough
have
dice. Not enough dice. I have
not
100
enough.
dice. I play with
Good.
100 dice.
Oh,
If
nice.
you've
Because
ever been to my table, you will see 100 dice racked up in rows of 5 by 2.
so the
Yep.
I will
recording
have
will
10
end.
Yep.
sets of 10 dice at my table ready to roll, and that's the only way I finish games on time.
Yep. And we actually checked and clarified we were not allowed to re-rack his dice for him.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah.
They weren't
In
even
the- in
allowed
the-
to remind me to rack my own dice if I was distracted.
that makes sense. Um, but yeah, that's good. I really enjoyed to do the little project. It was a lot of pressure, but that was good. I'm really happy that you all enjoy. We are going to send one to Gabby so he can have his own personalized, and Charlie
What's
can
going to happen
recover
to
you
mine?
all.
I'll have to go get it
Well,
again next year. Yeah,
see,
that's the
you have
reason I have to go next year. Is I
yeah,
need to go get my dice box back.
that's a good
Yeah,
reason, bro.
totally legit reason.
100%. But yes, well, I think we can wrap it up, guys. We have taken a lot of your time, and we are really thank you for being with us during this recording tonight. It is late. Jonty, I understand you don't need to work, so you are a lucky bastard.
I'm on study
Um,
leave tomorrow.
nice.
Nice.
I have to be
Chris,
at work by
Charlie,
8.
you need to go to the office.
By 8, I have a meeting at 8,
Oof.
so I have to leave at
Oh,
6:30.
man. Good luck, bro. Good luck. I will be working from home, so I will call you around 10 to see how you go when
No.
warm here with a coffee or tea, a cup of tea or something like that.
Uh,
Yeah, sounds good. Um,
cool.
Chris, you enjoy the. There is a tournament coming on Rotorua. I will be there on the
Yes.
12th and
Oh yeah,
13th, I think. 12th and 13th of
October, yeah.
shout out.
October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will
Shout
talk
out to
about
the
it.
Rotorua Gaming Club, War Gaming Club.
Yeah,
I think that's the first
we
event you're
will
running.
talk.
It's the first 2-day event, I think. Yeah.
First 2
event.
day, right? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We will talk about that in detail when we come back to the close up for the Wellington. So it's the next episode that we are going to record this week with Charlie. But yeah, I just wanted to mention I'm very keen to go there.
Should be good.
The tournaments over there are quite cool, and the space that they use is incredible. Is that it is super surreal. A lot of
Yeah, it's a
computer, a
dope.
lot of gaming areas. It's like
Yeah, it's very
what
cool.
the heck? Yeah.
It's a
And
school as
apparently,
well. It just doesn't make sense to me, but it's
it's
very
just,
cool.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the
Yeah.
weird part. It's a school, and they
Yeah.
teach you how to gaming.
Yeah.
That's
They,
amazing.
yeah,
okay.
they even have like a airbrushing painting studio and stuff in there as well. Like it's crazy.
What?
Like it's very cool. Yeah.
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 Yeah,
So
they
it's an art
teach you
school.
3D
So.
design,
Oh.
3D
Yeah.
designs and all that kind of stuff. It's
Oh, that's
bloody
really cool.
amazing.
It's
Yeah, and
very
they
cool.
have all these cool things. So there is actually, well, I was wandering around, and there is one guy that also play 40K. So he has his miniature in the office.
Yeah.
So big nights and stuff like that. It's like bloody hell, this is the dream.
It is very cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
Ah, cool.
yeah, it's quite cool. But yeah, we will talk about that. Jonty, you can try to get to that one. It's not far from your place.
Mate, I am focused on study and talking
Study.
about doubles with Charlie. So mostly study.
Well,
I have,
that will be
I have
will be
post
after
WTC
doubles.
exams to catch up on. So
Oh yeah, cool. That's going to be after doubles. Doubles is on the 15th of September. This is 1 month later.
yeah, I got 5 exams to do. So it's
Go
me.
for it.
It's me for a little while. I'm
Okay.
I'm making an exception for doubles because I want to play with my dear friend Charlie. But but singles are
He also
gonna
wants to bring a tiger shark, I hear.
Yes.
no. Jhonny Larson wants to bring a tiger shark.
Jhonny Larson. Yeah.
I love how you just have an alter ego now when you really want to win.
Yes. That is
Oh,
Jhonny
no,
Larson.
it's not me. Jhonny Larson is his own thing. He's a force of nature. He's the fifth chaos god.
Yeah, I love it.
Well,
Awesome.
thank you very much, guys. And we will be seeing you, Chris. Keep it up with
Yes.
that. Don't use videos. We
Thank you.
are really enjoying it. So, except the last episode with that Jhonty Larson,
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you get
rubbish.
Johnny
That was,
Larson next time? He's
yeah, I'll
cool.
try.
Yeah,
I'll try.
Yeah.
yeah, man. You need to bring the big guns.
Yeah.
Um,
Do you want to give a shout out to your channel, Chris?
Sure.
Love for
Yeah.
you to
yes.
do
So
so.
I have a YouTube channel called Odyssey 40K. It's basically I do interviews. I talk about 40K content, all sorts of different stuff. It's basically just me finding my journey through 40K and everything that I find interesting. I try and make content about. So if you enjoy it, yeah, it's Odyssey
It's awesome.
40K
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah. And I think you did a few video logs while you were in Europe. Has that been uploaded yet?
I'm still editing some parts of that.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
inconveniently, some of the audio cut out on some of it. So I was like, "Ooh, I'll try and make work out of something."
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Because
we
it was
we
very.
had that inconvenient.
yeah.
It's fine. It was really lucky to have Chris have his equipment there because we could do the live updates on the New
That's
Zealand Team
cool.
New Zealand page. So that
Yes,
was a really
yes,
cool
yes.
little thing
Those
we
are
did.
fun. Yeah,
Yeah. So next year we need a dedicated social media manager as well to
it's
run
true.
live
Hundred
Yeah,
updates.
percent,
Yeah.
100%. I can tell you with the Denmark that I managed to follow stuff was really really cool. I think if New
mm,
Zealand could have one of those, will be super super good.
Yeah.
cool.
Steve, Joel, if you're listening, we could use the voice.
Ooh,
Yeah,
what a voice as well.
Yeah.
the voice of Steve Jolly, imagine. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be cool. Cool guys. Thank you very much again, and yeah, we will see you around.
sweet.
See you, fellas.
So thank
Yep.
you.
See
Catch
you
up.
guys. See ya.
Guys.
Bye.
Okay, Charlie, this is now officially the longest video that we have.
Are we gonna run out of storage space to
Well,
save? I hope not.
more likely, but don't worry. I have you covered, bro.
Yeah.
So it's all good. But yeah, good chat with the lads. I think a lot of things that you bring around. If people really like that, if they want us to bring more people from WTC and talk about a little bit of their personal experience, let us know. Put it in the comments or in the Facebook. Um, of course, as always, subscribe to the channel, subscribe to and follow us in Facebook. We are near to this is silly, but it's going to get. We are near to the 100 mark of followers in both social medias. When we get to there, we are going to do a giveaway from some cool stuff. And yeah, we have some tactical Chile things to give away, but also we have some cool WTC merch to give away, and we will be looking for do some stuff that is for all of you guys that are listening and following us.
Sounds fun.
Anything else that you want to say, Charlie?
No, so we will be covering off a few upcoming events in the next video. This one has run a little bit long,
Yeah,
and I'm tired. But there will be another video. We'll go over the Wellington Teams event that was run a couple of weeks ago,
yeah,
and the Chilli Games that was run last weekend.
yep.
Patricia will talk about how he's bad at 40K. Um,
Yes, I will need to
and
give
yeah,
a lot of explanations.
that's going to be fun. And we might see if we can get someone from the podium first, second, and third, get them on stream as well and have a
Yeah.
chat with them around the event.
And we are going to give an update of the events coming around New Zealand. We are going to hopefully, Charlie, we have our GT ready to go with the date. Well, the date we have, technically speaking, but the venue and all of that. So hopefully we
Still trying to
can.
lock that in. Yep,
Yeah.
but should be a good one.
Yeah. Should be a good one. We expect good stuff. That is going to be a cool one. So save the
Yeah.
date. Cool. Um, See you
Thanks
around, Charlie.
everyone. Yeah, thank you everyone for
Yeah,
listening.
and thank you to all our followers that are listening to this 2 hours madness.
Yeah. Hopefully Cam listens from Portugal. I don't know where he's going next.
Yeah. Wherever you are, Cam, keep listening. You're pumping our numbers up. See you,
Awesome.
Charlie. See you,
See you later.
everybody. Thank you.
See you,
See ya.
everyone.
Bye bye.
Thanks for listening.